Yeah. The Daf Yomi, the last something very special about the Daf Yomi, that Jews around the world every day learn the same thing. Connects to something we learned a few days ago in the Daf. Kol hakovea makom l'tfilato, someone who has the same place where he davens every day. So the God of Abraham will help him. And the Daf Yomi is maybe learning the same thing every day, learnings, but you can see it's something that you do every day, constantly every day. There's something very, very good about it. Another thing that we just learned in the Daf is that after the Churban, after the temple was destroyed, so Hashem has the place. What Hashem has is the space of Halacha. So we take the Gemara and do it into actual life, and bring an actual life to a more spiritual way. That's the way Hashem has His place in this world. So what we're doing now actually is taking the Daf Yomi, which Jews around the world learn every day, the same thing, the same Daf. We're bringing it to a place of Halacha, of actual things. So the Gemara in Daf Daled, I'll go through the Hebrew. You have also the English translation in the sheet. Say that a person recites the Shema and then he davens, and it supports for Rabbi Yochanan. That's in Arvit, in Mariv, in the last night prayer. It supports Rabbi Yochanan. That Rabbi Yochanan holds. Which person will have the world to come? Someone who adjoins the redemption to the Amidah. Redemption is the Birkat Gal Yisrael, the blessing we say after reciting Shema. And so he will get the world to come. And this argues with Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, who holds the Tefillot be'emtza tiknum, which means the Amidah is between the Shema. What does it mean between the Shema? In the morning we recite Shema, and then we have the Amidah. And the night time, according to Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, we say the Amidah, and then we recite Shema. Opposite than what we do today. We do today like Rabbi Yochanan. So in any case, Rabbi Yochanan holds that the person should first recite Shema and then pray, and then say the Amidah. The Gemara explains what they're arguing about. The Gemara brings two explanations. One more of a thought explanation. One is understanding the pasuk. We'll go into the thought explanation. Everyone probably agrees that a person should recite, should adjoin the redemption, the Birkat Gal Yisrael, the blessing after Shema, together with the Amidah. We'll explain soon why. Just the morning redemption is a greater redemption. That's the main redemption. Morning, or see, daytime, that's when people work and people do things. That's when things happen in the world. Nighttime is the time for sleeping. So morning more represents the redemption. So a person should join the redemption of the morning with the prayer. And Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi holds, since the redemption is only in the morning, so there's no point, or there's no need to adjoin the redemption of the nighttime together with the prayer. Rabbi Yochanan says, since there's also redemption in the nighttime, the great redemption also happens on the day, but there's also redemption during the nighttime. And another explanation in the Gemara, which you want to read now, it's how they learn the Psukim. So before we go into the halacha questions about it, like what happens if I'm late to shul and all the congregation is now already praying, should I say Shema by myself and then pray by myself, or should I join the tzibur? Other questions we have. Just maybe one short explanation of why should we adjoin the redemption together with the prayer? Why is it so important? So there are quite a few explanations brought. Any one of you heard of an explanation why should we adjoin the redemption and the Amidah?
Well, it can't just. You have to also explain why this tremendous blessing of that, right? For sure, Ben Olam Haba.
Yeah.
I'm making the question even better.
Okay, for sure. Okay, so
I don't know.
So what's the answer? What's the answer? Why should we adjoin the redemption and the Amidah? Why is it Ben Olam Haba? Why is it get the world to come? Why is it like that? So there's many explanations, quite a few explanations. One of the explanations is maybe someone who prays. We probably know for ourselves. We pray. We don't always maybe believe our prayer will be accepted. Unfortunately, we don't always believe our prayer will be accepted. But maybe it's a problem with us. We should actually trust Hashem and we pray. So we should know that what we pray will be accepted, and we can change the world. When a person adjoins the redemption, he remembers the redemption. He remembers how Hashem created the world, how He changed the world, how He took us out of Egypt, how every day maybe He gives us life, and He adjoins it together, and then He comes to pray from that point of view. Wow, things can happen. Hashem is here in the world. Hashem can rule. Hashem rules the world. That's a person who He can come to the world to come. So that's one of the explanations. As I said, there's quite a few explanations. Okay, so we can see from the Gemara already that there's a difference between Shacharit and Ma'ariv, Arvit. And Shacharit, everyone agrees we should adjoin redemption and then Amidah, the prayer. So everyone agrees. In Ma'ariv, so there's a machloket. Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi holds that there's no need, actually the opposite. According to Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, you first pray and then you recite Shema. And according to Rabbi Yochanan, that we actually hold like him in Halacha, so we do adjoin them, we do connect between the Shema, between the redemption, and between the prayer. But even in the Gemara, we saw that he said it's not a great redemption like the day. It's a more of a smaller redemption. It's not a great redemption like the day. So now let's go to the halacha questions, and we have quite a few questions which we'll have to answer. First, a question which I think happens to us many times. Unfortunately we don't always come on time to shul. We're busy. We get late to shul, and the tzibur is just starting the Amidah. They're just starting the Amidah. Should I say Shema, and then if I say Shema, so I adjoin the redemption and the Amidah, but it means that I'll be praying by myself, because until I say Shema and then sit down, so the tzibur already finished the Amidah. That's one option. Another option is just to skip the Shema, to join the tzibur, to join everyone else, and then after I finish praying, so I'll recite Shema on my own. So that's the question. It happens to us. Everyone happens to me once every now and then, once in a lifetime, or once a week. Everyone else, yeah. But it happens somewhere there. Some people it happens to them. Yeah. Another question is for Gabbaim, but also for other people. Before Rosh Chodesh, I'm allowed to say Yalei Ve'avo. Yeah, don't forget. Please don't forget whatever. Yeah, don't forget Yalei Ve'avo. Don't forget V'ten Tal Matar Livracha. Can I say it between Shema, between the bracha of Shema, between the redemption, and between the prayer? Let's say I didn't have tefillin. Okay, I went on a holiday, on a vacation, far away. I got to the hotel, and it wasn't a religious area, so and then I realized I forgot my tefillin. There's no tefillin. Now my house is a few hour drive. I can't go to the house. So luckily there was a shul not so far from us, a quarter of an hour, in a hotel. So I could go and have it there, and I could find tefillin. But then you always have to wait for someone to finish, and then you take his tefillin. There wasn't the tefillin have his own tefillin. So what should I do? When do I wait? Do I wait in Shtabach? Do I wait between after the Shema? When's the best time to wait? I just got my tefillin now. I was praying. I forgot my tefillin at home. My wife brought my tefillin to shul. She gave it to me just between the Shema and the prayer. When do I put on my tefillin? When do I put on my talit? That's a question. So all these questions are quite actual questions. We meet them every now and then, and as we already noticed in the Gemara, there's a difference between Shachris and Ma'ariv. There's a difference between them. So we'll go through the Halacha. We'll go through the Poskim. Before we go through the Poskim, there's an interesting thing which the Gemara says, and also the Rambam brings it, and everyone brings it to Halacha. When we daven Arvit, actually also when we daven Shacharit, when we daven Arvit, so we say Gal Yisrael, and then what do we have afterwards? Hashkiven. So actually we stop between the redemption and the prayer. In here, not in this shul, but in some of the shuls in Memphis, so some places in Memphis, so there's even a longer bracha which they say after Ashkivenu and before Shmoneh Esrei, right? There's a Yehuinenu, there are a few psukim and a blessing. So there's a minute of about, I think about a minute or two after Ashkivenu that is still a break between them. And you ask, how could I do it? How could I break between the redemption and the prayer? Every prayer, also in Shacharit, we say Hashem Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagit Yilatecha. So we also have some sort of powers between the redemption and between the Amidah. How could you do it? So actually the Gemara asks it and says, the Gemara says, I'll read it inside. Read it in Hebrew and translated, Ela hatam kevan detakinu rabanan lemeimar Hashem Sfatai Tiftach. Since the sages, when they made a prayer, when they put the words of the prayer together, so they said a person should recite, Lord, please open my lips so I can say your words. I said in prayer, so it's considered part of the prayer. It's already part of my prayer is I pray that I'll be able to pray well. That's not part of my prayer. And the Gemara also said the same thing when our sages said to recite Hashkivenu. Okay, the Hashkivenu. So it's like an extended part of the redemption. Okay, so Hashkivenu is an extended part of the redemption. And someone asked me yesterday, how could Hashkivenu be an extended part of the redemption? I understand, guys, Hashem took us out of Egypt, he did so many great things. That's redemption. How does Hashkivenu, how is that part of redemption? We say, Hashem, please, we should sleep well. How is that part of redemption? And I thought that this blessing is also about Hashem saving the nation of Israel. And we said on the nighttime, and we said nighttime is a symbol for the harder times that our nation went through. So it could be, it's a symbol also for us, also before we go to bed and we pray, we'll have a good night and Hashem will guide us, but also during the nighttime and also through the periods in history which resemble the nighttime, which is a hard time. So it's like we believe Hashem guides us, we have redemption, also in the great times, and also in the harder time, also then we have this maybe small redemption. Okay, also then we have redemption, Hashem Shomer Amo Yisrael Ad. He always guards us, He always keeps us, even in the harder times of the year, the harder times of the generations. Even then we have small times of redemption. So that's how I explain it. Okay, now let's go to the questions in Halacha, we can go through them. So let's start from Ma'ariv, and we said in Arvit, that's the common way for Ma'ariv in Hebrew. So Arvit is when I came to here, so I was saying Arvit, and people didn't understand what I'm talking about. What's Arvit? Arvit is what they call Ma'ariv. So if I use the word Arvit, so that's what I mean. The person said that you shouldn't talk between Geula, which means the redemption of Arvit, and the prayer. And even people who say there's 18 psukim of Yehuinenu also, they shouldn't stop with some other things. But the Shulchan Aruch says in Arvit, okay, and only in Arvit, when the Chazan or when the Gabbai, whoever it is, he announces today's Rosh Chodesh, don't forget Ya'aleh Ve'avo, he announces whatever he announces, which we needed for the prayer, like V'ten Tal Matar. So this isn't considered a break between them. Why? Because it's part of the davening. It's needed for the davening. The people need it for the davening, and since people need it for the davening, so he can say it then. Also, the Chazan can say Baruch Hu. It's not a common today, but in the olden times, people were late to shul. So after a few minutes, they started the prayer. So if the prayer starts at 8:02, still people were coming to shul. So before Shmoneh Esrei, before the Amidah, the Chazan used to recite again Baruch Hu. So they can do it. It's not common today, but in any case, you can see that in Arvit, you can maybe stop a bit, break a bit between the redemption and the prayer if it's needed for the prayer. For example, the Chazan can say Ya'aleh Ve'avo. That's only in Arvit. And the Mishnah will also extend it and says not only you can talk about Ya'aleh Ve'avo, which Rosh Chodesh is from the Torah, or any other Chag is from the Torah, but even Al Nisim. which is Purim or Chanukah, which is a rabbinical holiday or festival, even then, you can stop in the Chazan or the Rabbi can stop and announce it. So that's you can see already from here. In Arvit, you can sometimes break a bit between the redemption and the prayer if it's needed for the prayer. What happens in this very, very rare case when we come to shul late, and the tzibur is already just finishing the Shema, and they're starting out the Amidah. So if I say Shema by myself, I'll miss the tzibur, I'll miss praying together with everyone. The Shulchan Aruch said, a person who finds the community that they already recited Shema, I'm in the last part of the third page. They already recited Shema and they're standing to pray the Amidah. He should pray with them the Amidah. And after he finishes the Amidah, only then he should recite Shema. Yeah. Why? Because we already said that connecting, adjoining the Shema and the redemption to the Amidah on Arvit, it's important, but not the most important thing. On Arvit, on Ma'ariv, it's more important to pray together with everyone else with the community, than to adjoin the redemption and the Amidah. So on Ma'ariv, if we happen to be late to Ma'ariv and we see that the community are starting the Amidah, we should start the Amidah with them, and after we finish the Amidah, then we should recite Shema. So that's answers another question. The Mishnah Berurah tells us that if there's more minyanim in the community, so try to pray in the other minyan, and don't go to the earliest minyan they eat and say, oh, so I'm late, so I have to skip the Shema and then have it afterwards. If there's a later minyan, so go to the later minyan and then you can adjoin the redemption and the Amidah. That's in Ma'ariv. And now we're going to Shachrit. What do you do in Shachrit? So now in the last page, the Shulchan Aruch says one needs to join the redemption to the prayer, and he shouldn't talk at all, since when he said Gal Yisrael, the prayer of Gal Yisrael, and only if there's some very, very needed case, then he can uncontrolled something happens, so he can maybe stop. He says even if a person didn't have tefillin, he gets the tefillin between the bracha of Geulah, between the redemption, between Gal Yisrael and prayer, so a person should pray with tefillin on him, but he puts on the tefillin without the prayer. Why? Because we don't want to talk between the redemption, between the blessing of redemption, between the Gal Yisrael and the prayer. So if a person gets tefillin between Geulah and Tefillah, so he puts them on so he can pray with tefillin. According to Shulchan Aruch, he doesn't even put on his talit, he doesn't even wear his talit. If wears his tefillin, prays, and then after he finishes praying, he touches his tefillin a bit, moves them, and then only then he says the blessing on the tefillin. Why? Because connecting, adjoining the redemption of the morning together with the prayer, Amidah, that's very important. What happens if a person gets late to shul on the morning? So if you got late to shul on Arvit, we said it's better to pray together with the community. So he skips Shema and he afterwards says Shema. In the morning, as we can probably assume, he doesn't do it. The morning, adjoining the redemption and the Amidah is more important than praying together with the community. So if a person is late to shul and he sees that the community already starting the Amidah, he doesn't pray with them. He'll say Shema, he'll recite Shema, he'll say the blessings beforehand and the one blessing afterwards, and afterwards he'll pray. If he prays by himself, he prays by himself. If he prays with the community, he prays with the community. But it's more important on the morning to adjoin the redemption and the Amidah than praying together with the tzibur. And we'll finish with that, as we can probably guess. On Arvit and Ma'ariv, we said the Chazan, the Rabbi, whoever it is, he can announce things that are part of the tefillah. He can remind people to say Ya'aleh V'yavo. He can remind even people to say Al Nisim, which is a holiday from the rabbinical holiday. On Shachrit, so we can probably guess, so he doesn't do it. Okay, so that's why usually notice the Chazan or the Gabbai hits the table without any talks, because you don't want to stop between the redemption and Shachrit and the Amidah. So that answers our questions. We can see how important it is to connect between the redemption and the prayer. We can see maybe how important it is to connect our past, our trust, our beliefs together with a prayer. So a person, when he prays, he'll pray from a place where I know that Hashem can do things in the world. I know Hashem can change. I know Hashem can listen to what I'm saying. So I should pray in a nice way, in a good way. And we can see that even in the nighttime, when the nighttime resembles the hard times of nation, when we don't see Hashem so much. So even then, we can break a bit between the redemption and the prayer. Even then, it is better to pray, connect them, all of them together. Once again, Yishar Koach for Brownish for hosting the shiur, and I hope we'll be able to continue this for until at least the Masechet Brachot. And Yishar Koach.